When Lynn emailed me and asked me to do this, I thought, oh, cool. And then my next thought was, oh, what am I going to talk about? And then the thoughts go, and it's, well, they tell you you ought to write about what you know. Maybe I ought to talk about what I know. And since I've been Oregon State Treasurer for 11 years, I thought, well, maybe I'll talk about that. And I'm going to. We've come a long way in 85 years, or 84. Which is it, Lynn? I thought it was 80. It's 87 now. It's 87, whatever. Anyway, long time. More than most of us have been around. We've come from big old paper ledger books where we hand wrote all of our accounts to computer programs like QuickBooks to keep track of our funds. We've come from vouchers in triplicate on NCR paper. For those of you who are too young to know what NCR means, it's no carbon required. Won't even talk about when carbon was required. We used to have to acquire one of those forms, fill it out, first send it to the budget controller. That's one stamp. Then she filled it out, sent it to the president. She filled it out, sent it to the treasurer. The treasurer hand wrote out a check, sent it to the person who originated it. Count it, 1, 2, 3, 4 stamps, and probably 4 weeks. Then we got the internet, and we got Word, and we got a voucher that we can open up, we can fill out, we can zip it off by email to the controller, and if everybody is close to their computer, that process can happen in a day, even less sometimes, or at most probably a week, and no stamps. Checks, we started writing by hand. Then we went to producing them on the computer, so all we had to do is hand sign them. And now all I have to do is go to the bank and bill pay and tell the bank to send a check to so-and-so. Budgets have become easier to prepare through the use of spreadsheets. Communications happen much more easily instead of having to write a letter or, heaven forbid, try to catch somebody at home on the telephone. We can text or email. Meetings can be held via GoToMeeting rather than having to physically travel to a certain spot to have a meeting. Where do we go from here? I had visions of Star Trek and being beamed from one place to another. Perhaps we'll have virtual meetings in which a hologram of each of us will suddenly appear at the place and not have the headache and the travel and the expense of trying to get there. Perhaps I'll be able to speak into a wrist device and say, hey, bank, pay so-and-so such and such from such and such a fund. And everything that now takes me 2 or 3 steps will all be done. Who knows where this will go? We certainly didn't 20 years ago, did we? Perhaps in the year 3016, or maybe even before, the president will open this meeting by saying, welcome to the Intergalactic Society of the Delta Kappa Gamma. One thing is certain, change will happen. How it happens is up to you. Dream your dreams, let your imagination soar, and direct the way our society will go. Thank you.
Thank you, Madaline.